And welcome back to Boom and Bust. I'm your host, Tony Clement, having a conversation with the Honorable Joe Oliver and Sandra Pupatello, two-thirds of our regular monthly expert panel. Joe Oliver, you're a former natural resources minister. I'd love to get your take on nuclear in Canada and how it affects our desire to get to net zero.
Well, I think it's going to be very important to achieve our environmental objectives. It provides base power, and I think people are starting to realize that with increased electrification, we're going to have to increase the amount of power to support growth in industry, to support electric vehicles, and to support AI. Which is something that has emerged recently as a huge energy user. So nuclear power is a great non-emitting form of energy which can increase baseload. It's not going to it can't be there to provide a backup to intermittent sources of power like wind and solar. But which natural gas can do, but it can be very important to add to the base power in a number of the provinces that don't have like Quebec enough hydro. Like Quebec that has the hydro, but unlike Quebec, I should say. So it's an area of strength. We have the technological expertise. And of course, we have the uranium. So yeah, I'm a real believer in using nuclear power, and the modular units can be much more flexible. You can't use that to create enough power when you want to have a significant increase in baseload, but it's very flexible, and it can be a part of the solution. So, I see this as taking advantage of one of Canada's natural strengths.
Got it. Yeah. We've got 2 minutes left. Let's talk generally about the economy. It looks like inflation is slowing, and there may be some concerns you may have about growth in this country, but generally, are you feeling optimistic or less so? Sandra, why don't you go first?
I do hope this is enough pressure, or continues to be the pressure, to see more than a measly 25% or quarter percent change in the interest rate, because that, I think, will have a huge impact on the housing market, on people being able to afford the things that they have to borrow money to achieve. And maybe we'll get to 50% of a point change this October. I'm looking forward to that. And I think that bodes well for us, because never mind that there's houses being built, if people can't afford to make that purchase, they're still in the same place. With inflation being less than 2%, to be honest, I haven't noticed that, because everything seems so expensive when it made such massive jumps.
Right.
I'm still in shock from the jumps in the middle of the pandemic. Hasn't gone back down yet. So I'm not feeling the love just yet.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Joe, we've got a minute left. How do you feel about things?
Well, look, the 1.6% inflation number, it was a surprise. It was quite low. Supply is in excess of demand right now. It could be a signal with weak job numbers that we're heading into a downturn. I think there's going to be a slowdown, and I agree. I think the Bank of Canada should be considering a 50% basis point this time, and perhaps even at the time after that. There's a little less pressure on the dollar because the Fed is starting to move. They were down 50%. We'll see what happens. But we don't. It's a delicate balancing act. But we don't want to precipitate a recession because of the tightening of money supply.
Right. And remember, there's still about at least a third, if not half, the people who are just coming into their renewals from massive increases. So that they haven't been hit yet, but they'll be hit now or in these next few months. So those mortgage payments that they're making are going to take huge jumps. Right. So as much as we're going to hear, oh, inflation's down, what they'll see is larger payments that they have to make
Sure.
every month, and no commensurate increase in revenue for them.
Alas, our time is up. I want to thank Joe Oliver and Sandra Pupatello for being here today, and we'll see you next month.
Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.